Hi everyone, I would like to teach you how to make Kompia. Mix well the dry ingredients and then add the warm water and yeast. You could use a stand mixer, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to mix it by hand as well. Sometimes you may need to add a little bit more water to form a dough ball, because right now it is winter time, and during the winter time the air is dry, so we may need to adjust the water a little bit more than 1 cup. Now we have a dough ball. Even though it is rough, you don't have to worry about it, because I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes and come back to knead it again. Be sure to cover your dough so that it won't dry out. The dough has been sitting there for 10 minutes. You can see that the dough right now is pliable and it's very easy to knead. I'm going to knead it for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes of kneading, the dough is smooth now. We'll let the dough ferment for at least 2 hours minimum. Sometimes I even let it sit there for half a day until I'm ready to bake it. I should say that it has been fermented for maybe 4 hours today. Now as you can see that the dough has increased in size, but it has never been double in size, which is normal for this recipe, because the salt in this dough is much more than the regular white bread recipe. Now it's time to preheat your oven to 475 degrees Fahrenheit or 245 degrees Celsius. The temperature has to be very high so that when this dough hits on the hot plate, it will puff out instantly. This is how I form the smallest dough ball, by squeezing it out of the strip and then pull it apart and cut it with my thumb and the index finger. Let the dough balls rest for 10 minutes before you roll it out. This is the cast iron plate that I am preheating in the oven. You could also preheat a heavy-duty cookie sheet. Basically, there are 3 things to remember here. Number 1 is you got to have a very hot oven. Number 2 is you got to have a very hot baking surface. And number 3 is you got to give it enough time for this dough to proof. Since this dough has very high content of salt, it will prevent the yeast from doing its fermentation. So give it a good 2 or 3 hours is the best. And sometimes I leave it there for half a day and then come back to bake it later, which is fine. Now we'll bake the dough right away. You spread some water on top of the dough and sprinkle sesame seeds on top. I use a chopstick to poke a hole in the middle. Bake the dough right away. My oven is very hot. And I also have preheated my cast iron plate in the oven. So be careful when you put the dough into a hot oven. Try not to burn yourself. If you are not sure about handling this, please wear an oven mitten. Remember, the plate has to be very hot, otherwise the dough will not turn out to be like a kompia. For my oven, it only takes me 7 minutes to finish baking, and you can account for 1 or 2 minutes more or less for your oven. Be sure to spread some water into the oven halfway through baking. It will enhance the golden brown color. Look at this. I'm sure that you can do it at home as well. I have shown you all the steps. And for this Kompia recipe, it is actually easier than the regular bread, because you don't have to stress on the timing. This dough is very forgiving. Since it has more salt and less yeast, the dough will not go sour or overproof or turn alcoholic. So feel free to take your time from making the dough to baking it. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you.